even every other year, basically, because you can stay up with it, and you can really get, you really get the value of, the taxes that you pay on the real value of your house, not something that was conceived 20 years ago. So we are going through that particular process. Now, overall, in the last 7.5 years, other than the first year that I took office, when I inherited about a $3 million deficit, and township is never supposed to be in a deficit, but for some reason or other, this one was. So we had to straighten that out. So we had a tremendous tax hike that I came into office the first year. We have since erased that. We have worked diligently, again, with our council members to go through that process. Year after year after year, we've been, in the 2-cent range, basically. This year, I'm happy to report that we're a little bit under the 2 cent. I'm not happy to report that there's no tax increase. There will be one, but it's 1 3/4 penny. So what does that mean to the average house in Ewing Township of about $125,000 on average? It's about a $21 tax increase on your local portion of your tax. And I think people need to understand the difference between the local tax rate, the school tax rate, and the county tax rate. And then you also have the library tax. So there's 4 components to that. Of all those 4 components, Ewing Township's tax rate, okay, basically an average house, I pay, my overall tax bill is around $9,000 a year. Okay. Out of that $9,000, Ewing Township, I pay Ewing Township for the services that we provide approximately $2,000. So about 25% of that stays in Ewing Township coffers. Everything else goes to the school board, goes to the county, and to the library tax. I would be more than thrilled if the school board could send their own bill, and then we send our bill. And then people who have the realization exactly where their dollars are going. And the sad part about that is, like, when they talk about the school budget, and listen, and they're very important. We need to educate our kids, and I'm not saying that lightly. We do. We need to educate, and we need to give them every tool that we possibly can. But when the school board talks about a budget, basically, they have very little or no participation from the public. And I think that needs to change. Although now that the school board also aligned their election year with the general election, their budget now doesn't have to be approved by referendum. They introduce it, the school board votes on it, and whatever that vote comes out, that's going to be the law of the land. So things have changed, and things are changing. And things are changing more in Ewing Township as we move forward. So I look forward to, again, this year coming and beyond. And I think we have potential. I think we've reached a lot of our potential early on, but we have such a long way to go with potentials in this township that I think the sky's the limit. I think we're going to get to a point in time where we're going to be able to sustain the tax dollars that we bring in and not have to worry about bringing in, more tax dollars and charging the residents more and more money. And that's why we're so diligent about the companies we bring in, who we do business with, and how we kind of keep what we do as far as road improvements. And we do them every year. We do road improvements. We don't stop, but we do it on a calculated basis. This year we can do this many roads. Next year we do 5 roads. When the asphalt market dropped, we anticipated to do, I think we did 25 roads. We anticipated, we budgeted for 25 roads. Asphalt prices dropped to record lows. We were able to do 45 roads. So we take advantage of those things. And we do constantly care about our infrastructure, and we try to work on it as hard as we possibly can. I think I've covered every aspect of this, other than Campus Town. I didn't talk about Campus Town. Campus Town is doing great, by the way. They're opening a couple of new businesses. There's Insomnia Cookie just opened up. When you go there, I haven't had any of their cookies yet, but they say they're great. Somebody told me they're very pricey, And the first thing I thought was, you know, they already have that stuff in that brownie, so that's probably why it's so expensive. But in any event, they're doing well. There's going to be an Indian cuisine restaurant opening up in the very near future. There's a berry place that's going to be opening up in the very near future. We have an urgent care that just opened up about 7 months ago or so. So they're there. A hair salon. I just did a ribbon cutting at a hair salon there. They actually had the guy is pretty sharp. He had a hot dog stand. It's a storefront, but he's selling hot dogs, right? And I'm thinking to myself, how the heck can you make money selling hot dogs, right? Well, he had this bright idea that he's also going to take in packages from students. That students can drop off their packages there, and they can come and pick it up. And UPS or what's the other area? FedEx. Drop the packages off for the students, and that's where they can go ahead and pick it up. So the guy had a pretty bright idea. So it's working out pretty well as far as I know. But again, Landmark is going to be the restaurant that's going to be at Campus Town. It's a tavern type restaurant. That will be opening up, hopefully, we're looking at late fall for that one. So there's another dining place for your pleasure. You can watch football, basketball, whatever, have a couple of brews, and enjoy your day. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I kind of wraps it up. I think I covered a lot of area, and I may have rambled on a little bit, but if anybody has any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer it. If not, yes, ma'am.
Hi, Sherry Durst from United Way. I'm also a Ewing resident. I'm wondering if you could tell us what you're doing with the city of Trenton about the water issue.
Okay. Well, I wasn't anticipating that question.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We are in constant communications with the city of Trenton since this trouble started. We have met with the city of Trenton. We have met with the DEP. They have put together a list of things that the city has to comply with and has to do as far as notifying the neighboring towns. It doesn't just affect Ewing. It's Hamilton, it's Lawrence, it's Hopewell. But they are also supposed to set up a committee, which that hasn't happened yet, and we're working on that, with the representatives from Ewing, Hopewell, Hamilton, Lawrence Township, and to sit on that board and discuss those particular properties. What the city of Trenton has done, they have hired a private contractor to run the day-to-day operations of the plant. My good friend, Assemblyman Wayne D'Angelo, introduced legislation. I was unable to give testimony, but my business administrator went to the State House to give testimony on what should be done. That bill is or will be introduced into the Assembly and will go to the Senate. And my understanding is that it has overwhelming majority support, so that will pass. So hopefully the quality of the water, there was never really an issue with the quality of the water. It was more of an issue with them reporting. And with DEP standards, if you don't meet a criteria, if you don't sit within that standard, that automatically should trigger an alarm to the citizens. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it, but you've exceeded the parameters of what that test should be. So we are working closely with the city on this. I haven't been very vocal, to be honest with you, in criticizing the mayor of Trenton. He's a good man. I think he's trying to do whatever he can. It's just, it's a system that was just in decay that really was being neglected. And I think now, with the DEP getting involved and getting legislation involved with this, I think you're going to see marked improvements as time goes on. Hopefully, we can get this resolved. If not, it's not the first time that Ewing Township has sued the city of Trenton over its water. It might not be the last time. I'm also a proponent of, if they can't do it, then we want them to sell the company, the water company, to a private company, which have higher standards with the BPU as the city of Trenton. So that's where we are. I hope that answers some of your questions. But again, I just want to assure everybody, the quality of the water is fine. It's not a problem. And if you actually drink bottled water, and a lot of people went to bottled water, it's less regulated than tap water from the city of Trenton. So think about those things. Anybody else? Yes.
Mr. Mayor, wasn't your original budget shortfall at $7 million, not $3 million?
I'm sorry?
What's the original budget shortfall that you had when you first came into office? $7 million, not $3 million.
Yes, it is, but we were able to bridge some gaps with a lot of state aid. And I appreciate that from the state. So, any other questions? Yes?
I just wanted to thank you again on behalf of Diesel Animal Rescue League for allowing us to bid for and now manage the shelter and keep it in okay. Thank you very much for that.
You're very welcome. That was long and hard coming. But yeah, we're happy with that too. The animal shelter is actually located on the campus of our town hall. It's a much better setting than where it was originally. Now when people come there, they're not afraid. They can walk the dogs and whatever and their pets. It's a beautiful park, a beautiful setting. So they really enjoy it. There's a walking track